Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Let me see when this pops up. Says I'm live. And there we are. Oh, it looks so far away. My drinks are all up in there in frame. So unprofessional. Where does that need to go? I don't know why I'm moving that. You guys can't see that. You're going to go over here. What's going on, everybody? You're going to go over there. Perfect. Excellent. We got all set up. Now I can pause that and pull this up. There we go. What's up, Grant Tilley? William can't stay. That's a shame, man. That's a shame. I'm glad you tuned in for a little bit, though. I feel like the camera is like really far away today. I don't know. Maybe I got a different camera option set. What's going on, Gary Farron? Hello. Clancy Russell. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. There's Willie Everett. What's going on? Willie Everett. Or was it William S? I think it's Willie Everett. Right? Everett, you're the one who was reading Stormlight Archives. I got Heather to read The Way of Kings finally. Let's see. Mark Curtis, hello. John Crewer, Sam Russell. Well, look at you guys. Everybody's showing up as usual, the usual suspects. Let's see. Nice. Got your BOGO in today. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you haven't taken advantage of that BOGO, now's the time to do so, I believe. Damn, Tony. Open heart surgery. Jeez. Well, thank you for tuning in. But let's see. That sale ends next Friday, so you have about a week or a little over a week to take advantage of it if you haven't yet. Herman Harmsen, hello. And Willie Everett, what? Yeah, okay, good. I thought I remembered it being you. I think she was texting me about the way, like the last few like reveals at the end of the book while I was waiting for the live stream to start. So I think by the time I get home, she'll be all the way done with the first book. So what's going on, guys? I don't really have anything to talk about today. So if you have any questions, let's get into something. And otherwise, return of Nerd Talk. Yeah, absolutely, right? I mean, listen, if no one else is going to ask questions, I'll talk about whatever gets brought up, you know? Just making sure that's still good. Perfect. Yeah. Let's see. So what do I got going on? Any interesting I feel like that's a trap, Sam. I feel like you're wanting me to talk about something that most people are aware of. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it necessarily. I was talking to Lewis about this today. There's not a whole lot to say, you know? So I feel bad. I feel bad that Jay is getting the flack that he's getting. But not obligated. Yeah, man. I'll keep it brief because I feel like I should say something. I told Lewis, I was like, I don't really want to talk about it, but people might expect something, so I'll keep it brief. Nothing I say will change the mind of anybody who watched that video. Whatever they thought about us, Heather and I had talked a lot about this back and forth. So nothing I say will change the mind of anyone who's watched that video. Second, I don't really have a whole lot to address whenever it comes to. I disagree with some of the points that he was making, right? Talking about the value of certain drills and stuff like that. But I understand where he's coming from. There's a lot of people who don't think that those things are worth, the value is not worth the risk of some drills similar to those. So I'm not even going to like beat him up. I'm not even going to like attack that point. My main concern is it felt a little disingenuous on his end, just because he mentioned that it was not it was a tactical response instructor who was doing a spin-off of his own thing, and or doing doing his own training on the side, but he continued to bring up tactical response. Felt a little disingenuous. I don't want to say that he was doing it intentionally, because our name is more recognizable than, you know, Jay's company at the moment and stuff like that, you know. But you kind of got that vibe a little bit. So anyway, that's the long and short of it. I just ain't got the time, ain't got the time to stress and worry about internet folk too much. Other than you guys are like the only internet people I care about. Someone made a switch for Glock V. I'm not surprised. I mean, we talked about this whenever it was announced. What firearm safety rule was broken? Exactly. I listen again. Nothing we say will change the mind of anybody who watched that video and got onto the hate wagon. You know, like that's all it is. We could argue till we're blue in the face. They're never going to see it from our point of view. You can talk about the value of running drills like that, and those people will never see it, and that's okay. They're not for everybody. At the end of the day, they're not. So that is what it is. But yeah, no, we talked about it whenever all this Glock stuff was announced. It's just a matter of time. I mean, it's the same thing with people. You know, what was the example I gave? It's like software. You know, like the battle between like hackers and cybersecurity. It's a constant, like, they do this thing to stop them from doing that thing, and then they find a thing that stops them from being able to stop them from doing that thing. Anyway. Trench grenade is a true. Well, I probably shouldn't read that, or I get a little sound bite, right? Yes, who thinks he knows everything? I don't know the guy. I've never watched any of his videos or anything like that. But you know, I've never met him in person, and if we haven't either, then I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't, because now we're falling into the same trap as the people in the comment section over on that video, right? So, and plus saying his name right now we're just pushing it out there more. So, that, and again, it's not for everybody, you know. That he's a 2A well, hypothetically, allegedly, maybe, I don't know. I never watched his videos. He's a 2A person. He obviously cares about, has his opinions on what training you should get. So he is encouraging people to train. That was the whole point of his video necessarily, was, hey, if a company is doing these things, you shouldn't train with them, and you should train with other people who don't do these things, right? So listen, I mean, we're out here with a similar goal, right? We want people to train, and you know, he just decided to do what he did. Getting ready for long distance pistol class tomorrow. Out to 50 yards. Can't wait to get back to Tennessee. Hell yeah, man. What does that's crazy. Long, I didn't even know Mr. Guns and Gear did a video over it. Who's doing a long distance pistol class? I mean, that's cool. That's awesome. I did notice his instructing resume only includes not training non-paying students, a curriculum that the DoD decided for him. I mean, Mark Curtis, yeah, he went after Jay, and you knew you didn't like him. Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, yes, definitely. There is a difference. I mean, there is definitely a difference. Does the training principles, let's see. I'm trying to be nice. And maybe I'm being overly nice, but again, I mean, the dude is an instructor, whatever that means, right? Whether he was handed an outline and said, "Hey, teach this thing." I don't know what his experience outside of that is. Eventually, you teach enough people, you do start to develop the skill and ability to notice things that people should work on and this and that. And like, I mean, he has a passion for it. I would assume he has a passion for it and stuff like that. So there is a difference between our worlds. I think we all know that, especially people who've been in the military. There's a big difference between that cookie cutter style training that you get when in the military, because they're just trying to get as many people through it as possible, and then the more refined. I won't even say the more refined, but what we offer, and not just us at Tactical Response, but all the commercial training companies and stuff like that. There is a bit of a difference. Hello, Adam Hall. What's going on, man? Let's see. Higher X. I don't know. I've only seen people bitching about it on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I mean, it did blow up. I didn't expect to get caught in the crossfires. But hey, man, it happens. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. I mean, like, and I would encourage you guys. Like, here's the deal. Lewis, if Lewis watches this video, he's going to be like, "Oh, so you weren't going to talk about it, huh?" Here's the deal. I would encourage you to not get into the comments section. My advice to you, after being more involved in the social media stuff, after James passed away, if you guys didn't know, James was not very active in the comments necessarily. I mean, he would respond to guys every once in a while. And I mean, especially back in the day, I think he really, he would lay into them and stuff like that. But as time went by, he gave them less and less energy. So I would encourage you guys, not that I do not appreciate you guys sticking up for Jay, sticking up for us, things like that. It's not worth it, man. Especially if you start feeling that emotional tug to it. If you start getting angry and you start checking your phone to see who replied to what comment you made on which video or which, Facebook post and things like that, if you start getting pulled into it like that, you're wasting time and you're doing yourself a disservice. It's not worth it. It's only going to hurt you mentally to deal with people like that. I promise, guys. Again, I appreciate you guys sticking up for us and stuff like that, but it probably isn't worth it. If you're going to say anything, say your piece and then fucking move on. Like, if they reply back to it, just fucking, like, say everything you got to say, because that is the benefit of being in the comment section, is you don't get interrupted. So you get to type out your wall of text, hit send, and then move on. Let's see. There are a few people defending it. Yeah. And then Higher X doing my job for me. Hit the slide release, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that slide lock. Hit that slide lock. Yeah, we've all seen this movie before. Absolutely. I thought I was a subject matter expert being in the infantry. Then I took fighting pistol and found out I am a baby with a chainsaw. Sam, I mean, you're not the only, like, Brian Greenwell described it a very similar way. After he got out and stuff and took his first class, he was like, holy shit, like, this is crazy. Yeah. And I think that's the thing is maybe that's what's getting me here. Will Trench is a decent guy. He just clickbaits too much. He did watch James. He mentions it a lot. Yeah, because even in the comments, there was a few people who were saying things about James, not necessarily like mean or anything like that, but like James, someone said something about like what James would think of this situation and was kind of like casting negative light on us, as in like, hey, things went to shit after James passed over there at Tactical Response. And, he would have never approved of this or anything like that. And, Trench said something along the lines of, well, we can't really ask James what he thinks about this. And I appreciated that because it's too easy for people. If Heather's watching, she might be mad at me saying this too. Maybe this will be a social media post. It's too easy for people to point to a dead person and put words in their mouth or blame or anything like that, and because they can't defend themselves and they can't say what they would think about it. So it's very easy for people to sit back and be like, well, James would have never done this or James would have never done that. And like you guys, What I have to refrain from saying is, oh, please tell me more about what my father-in-law would have liked. The guy that you never took a class with, and the guy that practically raised me from the time that I was 17, not to mention Heather and Kayla, who he raised from young kids, right? Like from babies. So tell me more about what he would think of this thing. Oh, wise one, right? But I refrain from that. So anyway, I appreciate it, Trench, saying sticking up for that, or at least having that train of thought whenever it came to some of the comments. So yeah, no, I don't have. I promise, guys, I don't have. I'm not stressed about it. I'm not worried about it. Like who was that? Higher X, right? We've seen this. Who said we've watched this movie? We've all watched this movie before. It happens. I mean, that bag punching video, dude. I'm still getting comments on that. People are still seeing the bag punching video and leaving, awful comments and stuff like that. So no big deal. It is what it is. All I hope from it is someone's, yeah. All I hope is that someone sees it and then they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I should go see what's on. Maybe I should go see what this pre-electus training guy is talking about. Maybe I should go see what tactical response is talking about. Let's see. Grant says he saw Skinny Medic posted it and talked some shit. And I've seen it posted on some gun pages and all the dipshit comments. Yep. Let's see. I think some of us are more upset than Joey is. Yeah. I mean, hey man, I'm pretty laid back guy. So I don't know. I just don't have the energy for it. It was eye opening for me, So a while back, particularly like that bag punching video, because when we did that one, up until that point, we would put out some videos every once in a while, whether it's on YouTube or social media stuff. And, people would just, classic, get in there. Oh, this is the dumbest thing ever. Why are you racking the slide every time? Right. And I would go back and forth. And sometimes it would get kind of heated with these guys, And that bag punching video is where I finally drew the line and I realized this is a detriment to me. To sit here and try to go back and forth with these guys, try to give the context and stuff like that. They're not there for the context. They're there, for lack of a better term, for the beating. They're there so they can join in with everybody else with their, torches and pitchforks and feel like they're part of the group. It's a weird part of that monkey brain that gets in there. People love it and they fall for it every time. Michael Baker. All I know is I followed James for years. Nothing but respect for him, his family, and everybody at Tactical Response. I appreciate that. Very kind of you to say, man. Yeah, it is what it is. And that's the other thing is fuck, dude, here I am. I'm no more. I'll say one more thing and then I'm done. Then we're going to talk about something else. But yeah, I mean, the other thing that made me realize this stuff is, especially if you go into the comments of that video, and you see these guys talking about oh, well, James wouldn't have done this, or I would never train with them, or this crossed the line, or something like that. None of those guys were going to train with us anyway. None of them. None of those guys were going to train with Jay. None of those guys were going to train with us. Now, most of those guys probably wouldn't have ended up training with Rangemaster. They probably wouldn't have trained with anybody who wasn't going to, talk about how cool their build drill was, or this or that, or whatever. They just weren't going to do it. And that's fine. That's okay. They've got their priorities. We've got ours, and we'll keep pushing toward the same direction of hopefully being able to protect ourselves and the people around us. That's everybody's end goal, right? They don't train anyway. Again, I've had this argument a bunch in the live stream with you guys. Are not arguments, but I voiced my opinion about it, and that is these guys do train. I will tell you, I think most of them do train. They just train different areas than we do. You know, they train for their USPSA matches. They train for trying to get that patch from Jedi or from anybody else. You know, they're skill focused. The gun is not about, and some of them will say it is, but the gun is not about protecting themselves. It's not about using it to fight. It's a toy. It's a thing that they just want to show off with. You know, it's no different than someone who invest a lot of time and energy into any physical skill. Like if I was really good at juggling, you best believe every time I had a chance to show it off, I would, but like this would be just a non-ending. I better be careful with my hand gestures. Never-ending juggles on the live streams, right? I'd be showing it off all the time, and that's what it is. They want to stroke their ego, and that's fine. I mean, that's it. So I do think they train. Their priorities are a little bit different than us. Most of the shit talkers don't talk at all. They call it training when they go to the range and shoot. I got a lot of flack for saying there's a difference in training, practice, and shooting. Yep, absolutely. Majority is regurgitating. Yeah, I won't argue with that. Majority is regurgitating. Yeah, so totally unrelated. I did this cool serpentine drill I saw on the internet with 2 other alumni at the same time. Allegedly, there's a video. Were you? I saw you talk about. I didn't watch the full video from whoever you posted, but were you in that video? Unrelated, but on Black Scout Survival's last live stream video, he shouted out James Yeager from learning a certain flashlight technique. That's awesome. He teaches rifle marksmanship, not necessarily how to fight. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's the thing is, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who respected James, and I don't know. I think that I think Craig said it best. You know, back when Craig, it was last year, maybe 2 years ago now at this point, but Craig was talking about keeping your head up and why he was okay with like looking the gun back into the holster. And you know, he doesn't like how we teach like the hitchhiker's thumb. If you can't find your holster, you use your hitchhiker's thumb to find it, keeping your head up, and then work your way back into the holster. And he was just talking about how he didn't like that and stuff. But he phrased it: we can disagree without being disagreeable. So, you know, I think that's kind of the goal for everybody. It's just too easy to be like, holy shit, that's crazy. I trained Sunday with completion instructors. He had us doing 10 rounds in under 10 seconds at 25 yards. I can't imagine as a civilian where that would be applicable, but still good training. Hey, listen, I don't have a problem with the skill-based stuff, Liberty Seeker. I think doing 10 rounds in under 10 seconds at 25 yards, I think that's an excellent drill to do. Because like, you can't imagine a situation where it would be applicable, but you know, the one that always gets thrown around is the Dickens kid who had to shoot from 40 something yards, you know. So I'm not saying that the longer distance competition, yeah, sorry, I thought completion was like the name of the school or something. I was like, I'm going to completion. That's almost a little dirty. So anyway, but yeah, no, I'm a sucker for the skill-based stuff. I think it's worth, dude, if you tuned into last week's live stream, it's all Garrett and I talked about. This is the 3rd time I picked this up and didn't drink from it. So I'm gonna take a drink. But you should, yeah, exactly. But you should be doing the skill-based stuff. I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with it becoming, I don't want to say becoming your priority, but becoming your main focus. You know, if all you ever do, I've said it 100 times, if all you ever do is skill-based, you know, under the shot timer drills, if all you're training for is just to get a better bill drill, or, you know, you're gaming the casino drill or something like that, then you're probably fucking up. But if you never put yourself under a shot timer, if you're never getting data from whatever drill you want to run, Garrett and I had a good talk about this last week. You know, he was like, hey man, you want to do this thing I'm thinking about doing for alumni? It was move on the draw, 4 rounds to the heart, 2 rounds to the brain, And that was, that was it, scan and top off and all that stuff. But just do that under a shot timer. See where you're at. If your first shot is at 4 seconds, like that is a skill you need to work on, right? Getting the gun out of the holster and getting a round off. Like that's a good data to have. So yeah, nothing wrong with training with the competition guys, working on those skills. It was probably excellent training, no doubt about that. So yeah, no worried there. Not worried there. May not be applicable often, but if you can do that, closer distances are only going to be easier. Yep. What's up, Sandcouse? Will Shope has been trying to get us to come to Oklahoma lately. We're in the process of figuring out the dates right now, but we have been going back and forth. I don't remember hearing from him, so I should probably check my emails again because he might have replied and I might have missed it. Let's see. Hope all is well. Work in progress. Absolutely. Everything's good on my end, man. I'm doing all right. Doing all right for sure. Excited to teach a pistol class this weekend. I taught that way of the pistol that Garrett was in on Wednesday. We didn't have anything the rest of this week, so I was able to kind of catch up on stuff around the office and around the house. And now I'm ready to get back out. Get back out on the range again. Some drills can be taken out of context. It's working on skill to apply elsewhere, just like sports do, etc. Yeah, that was the big thing with I'll talk about this because it's not the current controversy. But back when we did that bag punching video, and if you guys were watching the live stream back then, I talked about it then too, most likely. In fact, it inspired a bunch of different shorts that I ended up doing. But that bag punching video, the criticism that we were getting and talking about being taken out of context, right? It's the one where you're shooting from retention into the bag, and then we have you use the gun as like an impact weapon. Then you get up, you top your gun off, and you shoot a paper target. So like the context of that drill is not to mag dump into a dude that you are on top of, then mash the bloody mess with your gun, and then get up and shoot somebody else. It's not necessarily the the goal of it. The goal is to just get used to the skill of shooting from this position because you may find yourself there. The crazy thing to me is, and I was thinking about this, so maybe it is bothering more than I'm letting on, because I was thinking about this in the shower earlier. And there are guys who will look at a drill like that, or look at a drill similar to what Jay is getting flack for at the moment, and they'll say like, well, I could see why that's worth knowing, but you're never going to use that. It gets brought up. You're never going to use that. If all we're worried about is how likely we are to use a drill, like the likelihood of us ever having to use our gun is very, very slim. I don't know the exact thing, but it's like 1%, right? Like the chances of you ever having to use the things that you are learning in any of these classes that you take, whether they're skill focused, defensive, anything like that, is like very small. If it's not 1%, it's not very much. So we're all training for this thing that is a percent. And then like when you do things like retention or shooting on the move or anything like that, now you're taking a small percent of a small percent of a small percent. But we're just learning these things in case they come up. So I don't know. Last week's live stream sold me on going. So this is from Joey Sankhouse, the better Joey, going red dot. How do you feel about the aim point pistol red dots? I also have a Glock 19 Gen 4. Should I buy a new Glock 19 altogether or just buy a new slide? The aim point dots are great. They're excellent. Garrett is a big fan of those. The only reason that I don't like the aim points, other than they are more pricey, and I'm cheap, but is the reticle selection. I do like having the option of the circle only. I am still running a dot only at the moment, just to get used to it and everything. But anyway, aim point's great. If you were going to do your Gen 4, if you're not going to go like the KOA route where like Glock kind of mills it already, because I don't think they use their MOA system or whatever that is on the KOAs. If you're not going to go that route, then I would get your slide milled for whatever optic that you're going to use. Do not use the whatever the Glock other thing, like the MOA or whatever their stuff was called. Too many horror stories with that setup. So either go Koa or get your slide milled. What's up? Catass will be here to help out on the range this weekend. What's going on, Catass? I sent you the thing on Instagram the other day in hopes not to be an issue, but I did not like what was posted about the crew. Hey, I appreciate it, and I saw where you sent that, and I should have replied to you then, but I appreciate it, man. You sent some well wishes whenever you sent that over our way, I believe. I appreciate it, dude. Let's see. Northeast Oklahoma is about 8 hours for me. If you get it going with a certain class, I'm willing to make the trip. Well, Higher X will most likely be back in Bastrop next year as well. So, damn. Let's see. Those people that talk trash about what we do are those that will never be the man in the arena. Just saying. Appreciate it. Yep. See, so Grant Tilley talking about the Acro P2 that's been through 1,500 rounds or so, and I don't know what you're going to be able to get an MO slide with all the new V series crap. Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, like if you just get it milled, if you're not going to go with the Koa, just get it milled. Like there's all kinds of good companies out there that you need to, like you can look up and stuff. Message Lewis. He's got a company that he always recommends and stuff like that. So just get it milled. Found out Saturday that I need to work on my fast rifle shooting at 10 feet. A deer charged me and only changed his mind when I tried to light him up at 10 feet. Damn. Yeah, dude. A deer will mess you up. Like they're not playing around. That's crazy. I need to work on my fast rifle shooting as well. We did a fast and accurate rifle earlier this year, and I haven't done any rifle training in a while outside of helping students out in class. When we have one dude in fighting rifle, I'll run the drills and stuff like that, but I haven't done any skill focused rifle training. And yeah, I definitely it was bad enough that whenever I was looking at the par times, I was like, is this a typo or am I just that bad? What's going on, Mr. Mansell? Hello. 2 MOS Glocks, both with forward control design plates, RMR and one so far. I like the Koa better than both of those. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the way to do it. I have just heard too many horror stories about the MOS stuff. Tim broke the shear to the screw on an MOS gun that we had in a red dot class and stuff like that. So I don't know, just do the damn thing. Tyler's coming home at the end of the month and we ought to meet up in Camden and shoot rifles. Yeah, man, you tell me when and we can meet up and shoot some guns. What do we got? Let's see, end of the month. I mean, the weekend after Thanksgiving, of course, we don't have any classes going on there, but yeah, you just tell me when you're going to be in town and wanting to shoot some guns and I'll be there. I've only taken fighting pistol, but I learned so much just for life in general. It changed me as a man. I had a very similar experience, dude. I went through fighting pistol as naive as you can be, and definitely walked out a changed man for sure. So yeah, I appreciate it. Glock Store does the slide cut with 10-day turnaround. Do refinishing too. I've not used them before, but heard fine. Okay, excellent. Did recently acquire Glock 49. Which one's the 49? I can't even keep up with it. 49, that's like a, something frame with a something slide and a weird duber on the side. Pretty sure I shit over his back or in the back. Definitely was shot. Shot is what you meant. Sorry. I was like, damn, Sam, that deer scared you pretty good. Definitely was looking at the antlers on a waist high target. Yeah. I get that. So okay, 17 slide. or 47 slide, 19 grip. Okay. Damn, got the Holosun that bolts on a Glock 19 without using the plate, but it hasn't mounted the damn thing yet, so I haven't got to play with it. Yeah, I'd be very curious how that thing turns out, how much it holds up to. Like, I'm not even that worried about shooting a whole bunch through it. It'd be more like if I had to do the one-handed like malfunction clearances or like top ops. Can I rack the optic off of something like my belt or what have you? Um, like without it either losing zero or just coming off completely. Frank says he's got one of those. Haven't put it on yet, but will this weekend. Dude, yeah, put it on this weekend. Go out there, run some one-handed drills. Shoot a little bit, tap the magazine on your hip, rack the optic off of your belt, stuff like that. See what it does. I'd be very curious. Here's how I would do it, Frank. I'm gonna, if you don't mind me putting you to work, put it on there, zero it, right? Whatever you want to do, 10, 25, whatever floats your fancy. Shoot the shit out of it, do some one-handed racking and stuff like that. Maybe drop it, see what happens there, and then I would go back and reconfirm the zero or see if it shifted any. That's how I would do it. Late to the party. Good evening, Joey. Hey, Rocco. Thank you for making it. Sam, you motherfucker. I appreciate it. Hey guys, you know what? Let me act all natural. Hold on. Forget all that. Any fun activities planned for the first weekend in January? Actually, Sam, I'm glad you brought it up because I had forgot to talk to you guys about the bug out weekend. So if you guys haven't heard me talk about it and all that good stuff, January 3rd and 4th, so the first weekend in January of 2026, we are going to be out at the range doing our bug out weekend. It starts Friday, so you can start coming in Friday morning, start getting set up, hang out on the range. We'll camp over Friday, we'll camp over Saturday, and then, in fact, I mean, you guys could even stay there Sunday if you want. I won't because I want to go back to sleeping in a bed probably. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of stuff going on. Sam, I know, is going to do a block over land nav. We've got 22 competition thing that's in the works at the moment, and all kinds of other stuff that we're trying. Well, not too much because I still want it to be pretty laid back, but yeah, we're still working toward it. And even if you don't want to sleep in the cold, but you're nearby, I'm not telling you to make a 8-hour flight or anything like that. Or you can if you want, but if you just want to hang out on the range, sit around the fire with a bunch of pretty cool dudes and Sam and me, then come on down. January 3rd, I mean, technically January 2nd through the 4th. It'll be a good time for sure. Let's see. While I agree that MOS sucks, my Acro P1 is unusable right now, and being able to swap the plates for an EPS is really nice until I can get another aim point. There you go. All right. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons, right? To the thing. I don't know if the pros of being able to do that right there, because I would just rock my irons, So Grant says that he's run that off of all the doohickeys. So you're talking about the one that gets clipped? Yeah. I mean, so because my red dot, I've done the same thing, but specifically the Holosun that bolts on the Glock 19 without using the plate. Yeah. Can we make every weekend alumni bug out weekend? I'm looking forward to it. Yep. Do we ever do gun shows? We traditionally or historically have not. It is something that we've talked about maybe getting more involved in, because we don't really go to the local gun shows. We'll go out to NRA convention. We'll do SHOT Shows, stuff like that. But it's, not traditionally. Maybe that'll change this coming up year. But the flip side of it is I've also heard too many horror stories about gun shows. I had a rifle class that I was teaching not too long ago with these guys who own a gun shop, so they go to a lot of these gun shows and stuff. And that was half of what we talked about. It's just the crazy stuff that they've seen at those shows. Let's see. I took a rifle class this weekend locally. It was good. Shoot on the move, transition from vehicle, just trying to keep skills up and open to more training always. That's excellent. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Took, but I think that the something that I'm lacking in, and all of us probably are, not all of us, not work in progress, obviously, is we probably should do some more work from the vehicle in and around the vehicle, because we live in America and we're a very car centric nation. So most of us spend a lot of time in and around our vehicle. So should probably know what we're going to do around those things. Here in the Midwest, we have a gun show and it's chilled enthusiasts. Okay, nice. Yeah. I mean, it's hit or miss. Man, down here in the South, it's probably going to be some crazy dudes and stuff like that. So not opposed to it. EOTech is coming out with a new rifle sight soon. Do EOTechs survive classes? Yeah, we've had a few EOTechs come through class, no issues at all. Although, speaking of that rifle class, there was a guy who had one in class. It went down. That's not the norm. That's the exception for sure. I've seen a lot of EOTechs come through and have no issues. Trench. Lowest ASVAB score ever wavered to become a drill sergeant. Dude, listen, I know nothing about him. I know nothing about him. So much like he said, I wish him the best. I hope that video fucking blows up and he gets all the ad revenue and all that stuff and whatever, what have you, you know. If he was teaching class, if he teaches classes, I hope he gets those students that he was telling to come and train with him and stuff like that, like, or who those students should train with, so on and so forth. Shooting out the windshield was 10-10, not recommended, definitely not movie style. I think that's a lesson that we all learn. Like the first time you go to a vehicle tactics class, if you're not the one who shoots the windshield out, you see it as soon as whichever student does. Like everybody's watching from the outside and they're like, ah, yes, don't want to do that. Doesn't the battery life suck on EOTechs? I mean, I think that's kind of their main drawback, is that their battery life isn't great. But if the EOTech is your answer, like yeah, that battery life is the only weak point on an EOTech, really. Yeah, if the EOTech is your answer, if you can't imagine shooting anything other than an EOTech, then do your due diligence. Make sure you're changing out the battery, regularly, checking in on it and stuff like that. Because as far as them making it through class, like, they run just fine. The Wanamaker Gun Show in Tulsa is huge. Met Chris Barrett there one year. He was just there being a dude and started talking to me because I had a tactical response shirt. Dude, Chris is pretty cool. If you guys haven't had a chance to meet him, I don't know. He's such a chill dude, and just like he's just there being a dude. Even if you talk to him at like SHOT Show, before they sold the company, even now, they the last time I went to SHOT, it was after they had sold the company, and Ronnie Barrett was still there and stuff. Though I have never personally sat and had a conversation with Ronnie. I have talked with Chris. I mean, he's just a guy. That's just some dude. Even whenever he's all fancied up in his suit and stuff like that. Yep. Have a red one and a green one. I think I get about 600 hours from them. Takes a single battery, replace them once a year, right? Perfect. Bit old school. XS big dots on a pistol and a good LPVO on a rifle. Boomstick tactical. Hey man, I appreciate it, man. You can't go wrong with the big dots. Koa Glocks are pricey AF. I've never bought one, so here I am just telling you what to buy. Like, yeah, spend your money on this thing. I've heard good things, but yeah. So speaking of LPVO, I like LPVOs. I do think that as far as a fighting rifle goes, my personal setup is more of a just a red dot with a magnifier. But I'm not one of those people who like shit on LPVOs or anything like that. So excellent, yeah. And plus, like I said, big dots you can't go wrong with. Super happy for XS. They seem to be doing all right. EOTechs have a history of temperature-related issues and the glass will delaminate, but that could be something they fixed in recent years. Okay. I just haven't bought an EOTech because there are cheaper aim points that will always be better. Let's see. EOTech XPS 2/3 Glock 45 magnifier. It has worked for a few years, no problem. I'm the same at the moment, but Joey's a good salesman. Listen, yeah, maybe I am, but that was mainly Garrett's the good salesman. No, you should have a red dot on your pistol. I mean, that's all there is to it. I think we're to the point. Other than obviously the Koas being a little pricey, but I think it's worth the investment. Now I haven't bought a Koa, but so well, red dots are great. You should have a red dot. G45. Did I say Glock 45 magnifier? Sorry. I just see G45 and I think Glock 45. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't know it made a magnifier. But yeah, so you should just have a red dot. Sorry, long story short. I got wrapped up in the comments. Train with keeping both eyes open at no magnification, and the reticle will basically imprint on both eyes. Yeah, I think that the thing with me about the LPVO, and it's a training thing. It's a practice, well, almost a practice thing, and then the other side of it is use case kind of stuff. So for me, if you have an LPVO on your rifle, if it's like your fighting rifle, you have to get into the habit of always turning it back down to 1 power. Like that's just how it is, because if you leave it on 10 power or whatever, and you got to fight at 10 feet, much harder to find that guy at 10 feet at 10 power than it is to find the dude at 100 yards at 1 power kind of thing, right? So you got to get into that habit. But that's just a practice thing. I say the same thing about red dots. Like everybody who's like, oh, well, I can't find my sights and this and that. Like that's not really an excuse to not get a red dot, because that's just a lack of practice. Like you just have to put the work in. So there's that. But then the flip side of that is I don't know. It's tough for me to even imagine a scenario where I would need the magnification and the justification of taking a shot at that far. Now, good points to counter that is maybe you don't want to shoot at something that far away, but you want to know what is going on that far away. And so it's an easy way of having that all contained. So, pros and cons, or not pros and cons, but just kind of where my thought process was. Again, I'm not one of those guys who's like, you shouldn't have an LPVO on your fighting rifle. Because I think they're fine. But I have found I prefer just that magnifier with the red dot for like my fighting stuff. Train with keeping both. Yep, new EOTechs will have the shake awake feature. Excellent. When the Koas were being had for $1,000, that was a deal. A new Glock with an aim point for 1,000. Hell yeah. Yep, got to make it back to 0. I don't trust anything with a battery. Broomstick, phones, cars, nothing. Nothing with a battery. I was like, what is he talking about? Good point. Probably cheaper to get the Koa than buying the pistol and red dot separately. Right. Well, then not only thinking about buying the pistol and the red dot separately, but like then you got to get the slide milled and stuff like that. Yada yada yada. Any suggestions on a war belt setup? Probably not the guy to ask about that necessarily, because I don't have a war belt. Whenever I take my rifle classes and stuff like that, or when I went through like contractor, just I just had a chest rig. I had a little drop leg holster for my pistol and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't not a whole lot there. Have some medical on it, have somewhere to put your, magazines if you want and stuff like that, but not necessary. You know what else they said was the future in the realm of pistols? 40 cal. Ask Jay about war belts. Please do. Yes, absolutely. If you can find a Koa, I like mine better than my 2 MOS Glocks. Yep. SOE Cobra duty belt for a war belt. Yep. Sam was tricking you, work in progress. Don't ask Jay about war belts. That's a trick. It's a trick. Jay hates war belts. I just don't have an opinion one way or the other on them. Jay hates them. That's kind of why I chuckled whenever you asked the question. Good chest rig and a drop holster. Again, that's what I ran. That's what I run in rifle classes. That's what I ran in the contractor class. I had no issues. I never had a problem carrying everything that I wanted. Yeah, so good drop leg. Let's see. You can't really go wrong with Safariland or Blackhawk with those things. I should say they're kind of like the standard for a reason. Yeah, Safariland. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, either one of those you're going to be fine with. Those. Speaking of like the standard, Safariland is like that's the default for most people. Yeah. All right. Excellent. Glad that I finally could answer a gear question, and it was in line with what everybody started saying in chat. Nice. I'm learning, guys. Let this be a lesson to all of you. You give me 4 years or so, and I'll start to learn something every so often. You want drop from belt, not to knee, aka leg. Yep. Have I seen the new Surefire XC3? Let's see. I don't know if I've seen that one, though Garrett did show up for that Way of the Pistol class. I meant to ask, I figured we would talk about it on last week's live stream, but instead we just ranted and raved about skill-based stuff. No, long story short, no, I have not. What did he have? He had some super high candela, ridiculous light. It was a lot of fun to play around with out at the range that night shoot. Just a quick note, everyone should include medical in their training. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Boomstick Tactical, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're big fans of it. Speaking again, I talked a little bit earlier about like how there's guys on the internet when you talk about running a drill or doing this thing, and they're like, you'll never use that. Like, what's the point of doing this? Like, you'll never be clearing a room with your buddy or this or that, yada yada, as a civilian. But 1% chance of us ever having to use our gunfighting skills. Now, medical skills, we're like way more likely to have to use those just in everyday, just in life, much more likely to come up on a car accident, workplace incident. You try to catch that falling kitchen knife, so on and so forth, right? So anyway, yeah, everybody, yeah, all you guys need medical training if you haven't gotten it. Setup is Dylan's setup is a Ronin belt, Safariland mid-ride, S-Tac, K-Wiz, 1 rifle, 3 pistol. I'll be adding a dump pouch to it soon. Yep. Glad these guys could help you out, work in progress. Grant Tilley, I like Don Edwards' advice for drop legs. Your hand should be able to reach the bottom of the holster. You don't want it lower than that. That is good advice. Now, SOE micro rigs are designed with 4 o'clock carry in mind. Don't even need a drop leg holster when you run one of those. Yeah, we've had a few guys come through with just rocking their normal concealed carry holster and stuff like that, or just like even just outside the waistband on the belt line. That typically works. Belt kit greater than war belt. Has anybody ever taken fighting pistol with a pistol and silencer attached? No, they have not. Though I'm counting on you to be the first, Higher X. Make it happen. Pistol class tomorrow night and med class next month. Hell yeah. Charles M. Wow. What happened to y'all? Haven't seen you in years. Holy shit, dude. Well, I mean, we've been here. We've been doing the live streams every Wednesday, keeping the tradition. We're still teaching classes. I know the YouTube channel, we don't upload to it as much as we used to, but we did have a big old kerfuffle with YouTube a while back. So anyway, but yeah, we've been here the whole time. I'm glad you found us again. Garrett Matson, hey man, I was just talking about you. Glad you could make it. Got a little busy at work with what you do. I hope that wasn't too. I hope it wasn't too exciting or too boring. I hope it was like right there in that middle zone. Let's see. Must be shadow banned. Legitimate. We might be. I did get a notification from Facebook the other day that said they're not recommending us to people anymore. So YouTube might be doing the same thing. Here's a question for some of y'all. How many rifle mags do you all have in your full kit? I go back and forth between wanting more mags and being able to get flatter and prone. So any questions I can answer for you? Shit. You should have been here earlier when we were doing all the gear stuff. But no, so yeah, I mean, I've just got a micro rig, so it's got 4 mags in it. So that's me, 4 mags. Now, if like full kit, if I'm doing like plate carrier and stuff, that's 4 mags as well. Yeah, 4 mags as well. Yeah, exactly. Go through contractor with a normal belt and outside the waistband. Yep. Trying to run belt kits and load bearing vest with 8 to 12 mags. Sam's setup that he's been rocking the last few times he's been down, it was pretty cool. I gotta say, it looked pretty cool. Good evening, Garrett. Yep. Greetings from South Carolina. Already talked about the questions thing. NSW rig loaded with 12 mags. Prefer pistol on belt as well. Trying to run belt kits. Already did that. Do a 3 on a shingle and 2 to 4 on a subload. Look at you guys go. The internet would be so mad at you. Why are you doing that? You're never going to have to use those things. God bless y'all. Miss James. We could use a man like him right now in this country. Hey, man, I appreciate you saying it. Same to you. Everyone here misses him as well. And yeah, I think we could use him right now. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Not to get back into it. I'm not even going to get back into it. Sorry. I have 5 different belt kit LBV rigs. I have an addiction. No, don't let it happen to you. Plate carrier separate from chest rig. Yep. Garrett is not Garrett, but Sam, you're going down getting obsessed with it. Don't let it happen. Because then you're going to end up with like 10 and you're not going to know what to do with them. And then you're going to try pawning them off onto unsuspecting alumni. And they don't deserve that, to pay for your addiction. I miss having James tell people they are wrong. Yeah, me too. Me too. He was very good at it. He was very good at letting you know and anyone know when they were wrong. So, yeah, absolutely. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing is like all of this gear talk, and especially with like who was that? That was Work in Progress that brought up like asking about like our your guys' setups and stuff. Or no, it wasn't Work in Progress. Who was it? That was Grant. Yeah, so funny because you're the one who ended up saying this, but you've only ran that setup from one class, so you're still experimenting. In like fighting rifle, that's what we tell the students all the time. It's like, hey, this isn't a gear class, but most of the time, by the end of day 1, we're talking about gear because you have to like something wasn't rubbing you the right way, or you couldn't get to your pistol, or a magazine that you thought would be easy to get to wasn't, so on and so forth. Like, like it happens. So no matter what your setup is, go and move around in it. Do some I'm up, he sees me, I'm downs, and try drawing your pistol and try doing your thing and that and stuff. Like, gotta do it. Gotta do it. And the classic James answer to a stupid question, get some fucking training. Yeah. Yep. Haven't seen Dana in a while. You all still tight with him? Yeah, absolutely. No, Dana's great. He's busy, so he doesn't come down often just for pleasure, but we do see him every once in a while, and then in fact he helps teach the classes still. So if I can give him enough of a lead to the class and he can plan it around his schedule, I mean, he's taught a bunch of rifle classes the past few years. He's taught some pistol classes and stuff like that. Dana's new podcast is really good. Yeah, I agree. If you miss him telling people you're wrong, just read his book and think about what you're doing. You'll hear him in the back of your head. Oh, yes, believe you me. Absolutely, I agree. Constantly preaching James' gospel. I appreciate it. Favorite quote is when James would give the what for free, but charge for the why. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, well, Sam, don't feel bad about self-promoting at all. If you guys are curious when Sam's talking about the belt kit with like the load bearing vest and whatever he said earlier, he has some videos up there on his channel. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Sam's channel, you absolutely should be. Sam's a good dude, and I would never say that in a place where you could hear. So I'm saying the truth. Hey. You talking about the SOE LBV? I don't know. You're going to have to ask Sam about it. But Higher X is right, guys. It's 8:01. It's past my bedtime. You got a whole extra minute out of me, and I hope you appreciated it. But no, for real, guys, thank you for tuning in. Shut up, Higher X. Sam's great. Check him out. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. There is Sam brought it up again, so I'm going to say it now as well. There is a little bit of drama going on out there. If you guys haven't seen it, don't look into it. But I appreciate you guys sticking up for us. I would encourage you not to. You don't have to. It's not good for your mental health. And as much as I appreciate you guys watching this and tuning in and being worried about us and wanting to stick up for us, I also worry about you guys. I don't think they're worth the time. So if I don't think it's worth the time, you shouldn't either. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back next week. Let's see. Next week, what do we have going on? I don't know. I'll have something to talk about next week, though. Thank you for watching. This is the way. I'm going to go push buttons. Pushing the button right now.